So I think we're live. Hi, this is Jack, and I'm here with Terza.
Terrific.
And we are kind of riffing on a few themes that have mutual interest for us and that in some ways have really brought our connection together, which is essentially how do you do the best work that you want to do in the world? How do you have the free creative output that you want to bring into the world, assuming that you do either as an entrepreneur, as a freelancer, as someone in corporate, as an investor even. How do you have the creativity that you want, and what is the necessary structure and operational base that allows you to do that? Because we've all probably had experiences where if we're just left to our own inspiration moment to moment, we don't actually get the creative output and satisfaction and fulfillment that we want.
And so what Jack and I are looking at is really how do we help other people develop the systems that are going to work for them. They're going to provide enough systemization so that they come to their desks knowing how they're going to approach their work and really allowing time for inspiration and then also time to be working on the craft and creativity that is their deepest work.
Yeah. So what are your questions around this?
My questions are really like, how important is routine and daily structure for everybody? Is that something that all people benefit from, or are there just those of us who really thrive having a really predictable schedule? And then I'm also really curious, are there tools that networks of people and ways of being that networks of people can adopt that actually help us to work better together, whether that's on a team in one company or even across like broader collaborations?
Yeah. So what's your initial hit on this daily structure?
I think that there is an importance of like coming to your work and having a set of intention and reviewing however it is you capture your tasks and just understanding what everything is in front of you, and then really carving out clear blocks of time where you're uninterrupted. I think a single focus is actually more important than anything else. And then I think it's also extremely important to really get serious and like rigid about having time that is expansive. So it is kind of the opposite of often we get very goal-oriented and our time is very productive, but actually having time where you're this is time I'm not going to be productive. I'm going to take time for inspiration. I'm going to take time to noodle and allow myself to find something to do and something to work on rather than be absolutely clear about what you're doing. Because that often is where we create connections between different things.
Yeah, I noticed that pretty much any time I put myself in a new environment, that's a good thing for me. Even if I'm working on similar stuff, or even if I'm processing my email, there's something about keeping myself in, for want of a better word, high vibration environments, things that are inspiring to me, or even just a new place. This morning I had a breakfast in San Rafael in a pretty run-of-the-mill diner. But I know it was new and it was different, and I loved jumping into my work. And before that, I hadn't felt very energized. So personally, I think this idea of knowing exactly where I'll be every day in the same place that just doesn't work for me. So there's this really what we're looking at in some ways is this polarity, if you will. I refer to rocks and water just as a kind of a metaphorical way of looking at that, but this polarity between sort of creativity and freedom on the one hand and like structure and order on the other. And it feels like that's one of the meta sort of polarities that runs through life. I remember Churchill saying that he spent the first 25 years of his life pursuing freedom, the next 25 years of his life pursuing order, and the next 25 years realizing that freedom came from order. And I think that's a similar thing that most of us in this sort of knowledge working world are trying to come to terms with.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to be exploring in our SoCap talk. And in order to bring us to SoCap, we need your vote.
Yes.
You vote across all of your different devices every day. If we are selected as part of the SoCap Open, we are going to throw an after party, and you are invited.
Yes. So help us help you. It's only for the next like 5 days until the voting closes, and you just click the little vote up button, which will appear on the link that's beneath this this video. And yeah, we'd love your support, and we also would love your engagement on the issue. So if there's anything that sparks you to put as a stimulus or response or question, criticism or critique, you can also write that in the comments below this video.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.